What up, y'all guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Caleb, and on here we talk about everything fashion, everything style, and even a little bit of travel. So in today's video, I'm giving you guys my reaction to Virgil Abloh's debut collection for Louis Vuitton, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on Virgil Abloh himself as a designer and my opinions about him. This is a different type of video because normally I would have cuts and it'd be scripted in most parts, but this time I'm going to go mostly all raw, very little editing and no cuts. And it's definitely not my strength, but I want to try something new, try it out, and get better at it. So hopefully I don't mess up too much or something like crazy. I also have some notes right here, so if you see me keep looking this way, it's because I'm looking at some notes to keep me on track, so I'm gonna go babbling about different stuff so I can stay on subject. And so, anyways, before I even start the video, I'm gonna preface it with this video in no way is shade or any kind of hate towards Virgil Abloh himself. I have the utmost respect for him. I think he deserves to be where he's at. In certain aspects, and as well, I think I just have no reason to hate the guy. I'm very happy with his success. I'm very happy for him, being selected as a new menswear, designer for Louis Vuitton. So I just want to get that out there before I start the video, before I even get, people already coming here just to hate on the video. But anyways, I'm going to start out with the collection itself. Now, the first thing that I noticed that I really actually liked about it, didn't really have to do with the collection itself. It was the presentation of it. I really thought the whole color t-shirt gradient thing that they had going on with like the rainbow runway, I thought that was really cool. I think it looked sick. I thought it was spectacular. I really wish I could have been there and seen it in person. And as well, the ending, kind of towards the ending of the live stream, you saw Virgil Abloh hug Kanye West, and I thought that was a really sweet moment, a really awesome moment. It was a beautiful moment. And if you didn't feel anything in that moment, then you're just not human. That was really special to see, and I'm really glad they included that in the live stream and got somebody filming it. But anyways, onto the actual collection itself. I was a bit disappointed, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, there were some nice pieces. There were some nice pieces in the collection. There were some pieces that I was like, oh yeah, that's dope. That's cool. I like that. But it was very far and few. But really, the part that disappointed me the most was the fact that I was hoping that Virgil Abloh would kind of stay away from his off-white stuff. I wanted to see a new side to him. I wanted to see what else could he offer as a stylist. Because the best stylists out there, they're original. They come up with new ideas. They innovate. They get out of their comfort zone, and I wanted to see Virgil do that in this collection with Louis Vuitton. I wanted him to keep his off-white stuff to off-white, and I wanted him to do something different, something unique, something that he did do. He did do something unique in terms of Louis Vuitton, but as in terms of him personally, I wanted to see something new from him, because we're constantly, if you're like me into fashion, if you're a guy into fashion, anybody really, and you follow social media accounts for fashion, you're constantly being hit by off-white, 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 off-white. Like, we get it. Like, okay, so Louis Vuitton, I wanted him to do something new, but I was disappointed to see that. To me, it just seemed like the Louis Vuitton collection was just an off-white project of his. It didn't seem like he wasn't like, okay, my mind is now in Louis Vuitton mode, and then yeah, I'm gonna do something for Louis Vuitton. No, it seemed like his mind was just in off-white mode the whole time. And that's really disappointed me the most, was the fact that he didn't do something new, something that I wanted to see a new side of him, something we haven't seen before from him. So yeah, it was disappointing in that aspect. As well, there was no continuity to the collection itself. It just kind of seemed everywhere. It seemed really random. Maybe that was what he was going for. Maybe I'm just missing something with that. But for me, I like to see continuity when I'm seeing a collection. I like to see, like, if I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is that 2019 collection just from looking at it. Because I can just see the whole vibe and the continuity in the actual collection itself. And I didn't see any of that. Like I said, it was kind of all over the place. But yeah, so that's about it. What I thought about the collection itself. There's not really much to talk about it, because it just seems so unoriginal and just not exciting. I really was expecting more. I really was hoping for more, but I didn't get it. And like I said, it just seemed like an off-white project of Virgil Abloh's. Now, kind of transitioning into the actual designer himself, Virgil Abloh, and my thoughts about him, and kind of what you probably came here for in the title, Virgil Abloh Underrated. Now, before I go into what I think, why I think he's underrated, and why some people may consider him underrated, I'm gonna first talk about what I do like about him. So what I respect from him, I do respect this guy a lot. What I do respect from him a lot is the fact that he is a very hard worker. He has a great work ethic. He did not get to this point, he didn't get to this point fully off of just knowing people. He got to this point doing hard work, grinding it out. That man's on his grind. He's working hard for both Louis Vuitton and for Off-White, and I respect that so much from him. As well, he's a very business savvy guy. In terms, just taking away the whole designer stuff, taking away the whole fashion stuff, in terms of business wise and marketing wise, he is a very business savvy guy. He's a master marketer, and honestly, that's why I think Louis Vuitton hired him. Not necessarily because of his skills as a designer, but because of his skills as of marketing, of knowing people. And I think that's what really, that's like the biggest strength that he brings to the table when it comes to, in terms of his strongest skill sets. And so those are the parts that I respect from him a lot. I think he is brilliant at that. With the whole Off-White thing, he was able to make he was able to make t-shirts into designer type things. He blended that line between streetwear and designer. And for him, I do give him credit for that. I do admire him for that because like nobody ever expected the man, like anyone, to be able to make some t-shirts and sell them for $100-something bucks. It was until Supreme and Off-White came along, and he was a big pusher of that. Times are changing. High fashion is changing, and Virgil Abloh is going to be considered as one of those pioneers. Whether you like it or not, times are changing, and he's gonna receive a lot of credit for being one of those pioneers. And so for that, I do respect him. Now, I just said all those great things about him, but kind of transitioning now into what I don't like about him and why I think he is overrated. I answered the question with the title. He is overrated in my opinion as a designer. And he is great in all these business things and marketing and all that. But as a designer himself, I can't really give him the same credit. I don't think he is all that special. He is a so-so designer. He's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not brilliant. And the reason why I think that is because, first of all, let's start out with his origins. Not really his origins, but what kind of really propelled him to, a top tier designer, and that was Off-White. And Off-White itself, I love Off-White stuff. I love the Off-White collaborations. There's some really cool Off-White pieces. I think there's some really cool stuff with it. But this is the big but. There are plenty of Japanese brands that have been doing Off-White for years now. And the reason that they're not more well known, the reason why the designers who made these things aren't getting the credit or getting jobs at Louis Vuitton or landing these jobs there, is because they don't know the right people. And that is why I think he is a bit overrated, because I believe, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, no hate, no shade terms, I believe that let me try to gather my thoughts. I don't think he would have been able, Virgil Abloh, I don't think he would have been able to make it to this point, to have this kind of success based on his design ability. Just solely based off of that. If there was no other variables to it, nothing else, just off of pure design itself, I don't think Virgil Abloh would have made it. I don't think so. And so that again brings me to my next point, and that is, I believe the fact that he knows a lot of people, especially Kanye. He owes so much to Kanye. Kanye put him on the map. Kanye is the one, not necessarily put him on the map, but he gave him the start. He gave him that jump start to his career. And without Kanye, I don't think he would be in any of these kind of positions, just because off of design, I just don't think he's talented enough. And like I said, there's no shade to the guy, but I think it's a fact. I don't think you can really argue it. Unless, you might have a different perspective than me. You might be seeing something that I'm not seeing. And please, if you are, tell it to me down in the comments below. But in my opinion, off of design alone, I do not think he has enough talent. I don't think he had enough talent or has enough talent to be able to get to this point now. And like I said earlier, I believe Louis Vuitton hired him not because of his design ability, because there are better designers out there for sure. For sure. But I think it's his ability to market his stuff and the fact that he knows people. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, but especially fashion, who you know is all that matters. And if you can make a company money, that's all that matters. And how do you do that? By knowing people. And Virgil knows people and knows how to sell a product. It's very simple. And I think that's why they hired him. And you know, kudos to Louis Vuitton for hiring him. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool that they hired him. But in terms of just his, and I'm gonna say it again and again and again, but in terms of just his design ability, I'm sure you're talking about design, I don't think he is talented enough for that. And as well, lately there's been a lot of issues with him copying people. Now, okay, not issues copying people, but there's a lot of been alleged people accusing him. He's allegedly copied people. There's been a lot of people accusing him of not giving them credit for doing certain things. And at the end of the day, I don't really know if he just really just looked at it and was like, I'm gonna copy this and just use it for my stuff. I don't know. But what I do know is a lot of the stuff that he makes, I have seen before. And he gives no credit to anybody. And it's not original. And yeah, and that's why I think he is an overrated designer. Whether in terms of other aspects, I think he's brilliant, but in terms of business aspects, I think he's brilliant. But in terms of just design itself, I just think he is overrated for that reason. At the end of the day, this video is in no way hate or any kind of blasting of Virgil Abloh. This is no way trying to hate on the guy. This is no way trying to, I'm not a hater at all. I admire the guy, brilliant, everything like that, like I said before. So please do take this as my opinion. Do not take it as like a whole final thing, like blah, 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 blah. This is just me opening up a conversation, because a lot of these guys in these big positions like him, nobody wants to call him out anything. Nobody wants to question them. Nobody wants to say anything. They do want to praise him at the first minute he does something that they think is new, they haven't seen before, but they will not criticize him at the first sight of him doing something that may not be right or something that's unoriginal. And so that's simply what this video is for. It's just to open up a conversation, because I also want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on him as well as a designer. And yeah, like I said, no hate to him, much love to him. I wish him the best, very happy for him. But like I said, at the end of the day, I do think he is a overrated designer. Well, that is it for the video. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too bad. But if you did enjoy the video, drop a like. And if you guys have a differing opinion than me, or you think I'm just missing something, with Virgil Abloh as a designer, please let me know down below in these comments. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.